Are you good, Fob?
Yep, we're
all right, cool. Well, Shelley, thank you for sitting down with us.
My pleasure.
You miss him?
Well, I'm going to say yes and no. I miss him physically because he's not here. But I talk to him all the time. I was the lucky one. He made me a nicer, kinder person.
The grieving mother of an Australian man forced to make a heartbreaking decision as the blaze closed in.
32-year-old Australian Rory Sykes.
Rory Sykes is among the people who have been killed in the destructive fires.
Shelley, you were called a monster and a murderer.
Do you know what? The first time it shocked me. Why would they say that when I've loved my baby all these years?
So since seeing you, Shelley, we have received a bit more information and we've always said we'd be really upfront with you.
I mean, I'm upset, obviously, but I'm glad you're telling me because I've got time to go and do something about it and find out what's going on.
Hello, I'm Michael Usher and welcome to Spotlight. When 32-year-old Australian Rory Sykes died in the Los Angeles fires, authorities ruled it a tragic accident. His mother, Shelley, went on TV, raw with grief, telling the world how she lost her disabled son. At first, America mourned with her, but then they turned on her, igniting a social media onslaught. So what happened to Rory? Reporter Sarah Greenhalgh investigates a story that's as disturbing as it is extraordinary.
I feel lucky to be here. I talk to him every day because you can't kill energy. Rory was my miracle baby. I didn't think I could have babies.
Callum Rory Sykes was born in England in 1992 to parents Lee and Shelley Sykes. It wasn't an easy start. He had cerebral palsy. From early on, Shelley referred to Callum by his second name, Rory.
When Rory was born, and they told me he would never see a walk, I thought, well, I'll just prove them all wrong. And his first word was picture. And Rory became super eloquent. He spoke really fast and loved communicating.
How else do you describe Rory?
Oh, well, he loved to laugh.
Now, your story, you were born with cerebral palsy. In fact, Anthony Robbins calls you a miracle.
At that stage, I didn't know what cerebral palsy was. So, of course, I was absolutely horrified. I thought I'd got a blind cabbage.
After Shelley's marriage collapsed, they moved to Sydney. Rory was 8. They spent 12 years there. It's where he went to school and learned to walk.
Let's give her a joyous round of applause for Dr. Shelley Sykes.
His mother,
As you can see from my hat, I'm taking you to the races around the world.
an eccentric TV producer and entrepreneur.
I can satisfy your needs. Did I win the Best Book Award for Parenting? Yes.
Later wrote Callum's Cure.
Tell them it's not what happens to you in life.
It's what you do right that counts.
Claiming she made the impossible possible. From Australia, Shelley and Rory moved to Los Angeles, the perfect stage for a purpose-driven, burgeoning celebrity. Shelley bought a $2 million Malibu mansion on 17 acres. From there, she says she ran a television production company. Now, given that Hollywood's just up the road, there's really no better place to write your own story.
After seeing 262 houses in the Beverly Hills, Malibu, Bel Air area, this house was absolutely perfect. Property was very run down and it was very bland. And the first thing Rory saw when I said, I found the place, this is it. And I showed him and Rory went, ha, I bet you're going to get rid of that kitchen and sort those windows out. So he knew me inside out.
Shelley was front and centre.
And then everybody else in the room went, oh, right?
Rory, who she says had limited mobility but was extremely intelligent, was her business partner and chief technology officer.
So Rory never mixed and mingled with the people. He liked his privacy. He was like a proper nerd, yeah.
His world was online.
His world was online, but he had thousands of people all over the world following his comments.
I just like to play around with new Apple hardware and software. Occasionally build an app or two, you know?
Rory's many posts live on across social media platforms Reddit and X. His favourite topic? A fantasy computer game, RuneScape, which he got very good at.
In all seriousness, these days, if I'm awake, I am logged into RuneScape. Thankfully, I'm in a position where I am able to play RuneScape as much as I want. I want to attempt to play a minimum of 6,570 hours, 18 hours a day for a full year.
He'd have his 3 laptops, he'd have his new Apple headset that was playing some sort of music, and he'd be talking to somebody in Sydney, Australia, while we're in Malibu, California. And then he'd got his game going on, his RuneScape game, his favourite thing to do, ding, ding, ding. In fact, they thought he was a bot. He was heartbroken for ages.
Because he played so much.
Because he played so much and he was so good. I had to actually write to the CEO and say, please, my son has cerebral palsy and he's really good and that's all he does all day long.
While Rory had one passion, Shelley has many.
Because I am the happiness guru. As the happiness guru, together we can change the world.
A motivational speaker.
The United Nations, they employ me to help teach their teams to communicate better around the globe.
And singer.
My gingerbread boy has brought me so much joy, so I made a pact, as a matter of fact, to be the best mommy to my son Callum, Rory. Life is never always fair. I'm the rapper mama. Take control and beware. I'm the rapper mama.
And she even took herself on Australia's Got Talent to promote another book.
So I'm Dr. Shelley Sykes, I write books and I sing, and it's to empower people.
I guess you think you could probably win this show, right?
Of course.
Well, take it away.
Shine your light, be the best you can. I guarantee you'll find a dream man. Sexy single and I'm ready to mingle. Sexy, so sexy. Stop being a boy and stop being a man. If you want loving, laugh and learn. Energy's what we've got to burn. Where's not?
While Shelley clearly loved the spotlight, Rory was worried about the exposure.
He was my biggest critic, but he was my biggest fan. So he was very concerned that I would be bullied when everything went online.
So what was he critical about?
He thinks I'm too soft, right?
So what, Rory thought you were too focused on the positives and...
Yes. He was my reality check. Whoa! Well, thank you, gentlemen.
What was he like in more recent times, prior to the fire?
Always busy. I'd say to him, do you want to go for fish and chips? No, I'm busy. And then I'd tempt him with food. Delivery!
While Shelley and her son were close, they lived separately.
Oh, it's nice, isn't it, Mikey? Let's go over here. Come on, then. Let's go. Oh, it's nice. Come on, then, Mikey. Come on.
Shelley shared her 6-bedroom mansion with her 2 adored pet peacocks, Mikey and Edgy. Rory's home was a self-contained cottage at the back of his mum's Malibu estate. Shelley says there are no photos of it.
He liked his privacy. That's why I built him the cottage on the land. He liked his own space. And he was frightened of being knocked over.
So this is Shelley's property. Down here is the house where Shelley was living. And up the back here, you've got 2 small sheds. And then this is the structure where Rory was living. The cottage is where he lived safely for 4 years.
We had a fire a month earlier on December the 10th in 2024. And that was the first shocking fire we experienced. And Rory and I stayed. That made us a little bit complacent.
On January 7, 2025, the Palisades fire started several kilometres from Malibu.
Not what we want to see here in Southern California. A fire has now broke out.
Multiple evacuation orders were issued. With fierce winds eventually driving the flames towards Shelley and Rory's neighbourhood. They were told to leave.
Rory said, "I'm not moving, Mum," and locked the door. I said, well, when I saw it moving around the side, I tried to ring him and none of our phones were working. And so I ran up and said, go into the shower. And I begged him to come to the main house, but he said no. So that night I was awake, but running to the back of the house to have a look at Rory's and see where this fire was. And I've got various shots that you can have.
Shelley snapped a series of photos, choosing optimism despite the warning signs.
What they do is they drive round and they shout, vacated, vacated. And Rory and I just stay quiet.
It was house after house after house just burned.
Just before dawn on the 8th of January, Shelley's optimism was replaced by terror.
Suddenly saw these flames and when I looked out and I couldn't breathe. And then I really panicked when I saw the embers on Rory's cottage. And that's the only time I felt, oh my God, we should have gone.
You had that moment when you thought,
well, I just wanted help. I wanted to get Rory out.
So when you came up here, saw the embers, did you try the door?
Yeah, he locked the door. Yeah, of course, yeah. And he locked it. And he did that a lot. So I had a saree wrap the cape around my head and all the back of my head burnt. But I raised up and I got the hose pipe. So you see the hoses.
Oh, that was it there.
Yeah, can you see it? And I tried to put the water on and the water wouldn't come on. So I was shouting to Rory, get into the shower, I'm going to go to the fire station, please, and I'm going to go get your help. I'd put the birds in the car, reversed out, closed the door, raced up the drive and went straight to the fire station.
So from the time you saw the embers to when you went to the fire station, it would have been half an hour?
Probably 20, 25 minutes.
The fire station is known as Camp 8. Shelley says after jumping in the car, she raced from her place down here to Camp 8, where she told the firefighters in a panic that Rory was trapped inside his cottage. We then understand a few of them jumped in a vehicle. They raced back down the road where they couldn't find the cottage. It had already burnt to the ground. At that stage, the main house on the property where Shelley had been living was still standing, but a few hours later, it was gone too.
There was no house, there was no cottage, 3 cottages didn't exist anymore. It was just ash. Ash. My workstation in the middle of the middle cottage was all metal. There was no tiles. You couldn't even see where his washing machines were. There was no washing machine. Where did they go? I mean, there was no Rory. There was no cottage. There was nothing.
Almost immediately, reporters began to call.
Is there a part of you that felt like you could have done anything else despite the fact that you tried so hard to save him?
I don't feel any guilt. I did my very best as his mama.
Shelley responded to tell the world
He's had an extraordinary life.
about her beautiful boy.
I decided that no matter what happens, he'll be able to have he'll be able to live like other kids, be loved.
Shelley had lost her son, her home, all her worldly possessions. She didn't think it could get much worse, but it was just about to. You were a mum who had just lost your son.
Yeah.
And instead of overwhelming sympathy and support, which you would expect from the general public, you were overwhelmed with awful criticism and hatred.
Coming up.
You were called a monster?
Yeah.
And a murderer.
Sarah Greenhalgh investigates the wild online theories driven by cyber-sleuths.
I've just made contact with one who we're hoping to get on the phone.
I couldn't imagine leaving him.
I understand you're investigative journalist, and I am so grateful that you're telling me this now.
And later, why there are questions about where Rory lived.
I just want to put on record that I have not lied at any time under oath.
We're finished, Ms. Sykes. We're finished for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rory Sykes was officially identified on January 12, 2025, 4 days after the fire. He was found in the shower, with his death, according to this medical examiner's report, ruled an accident. Heartbroken and in shock, his mum Shelley then spoke to many of the world's biggest media outlets.
Tonight I spoke with a mom who lost not just her property, but her adult son in the fire, and she shares her grief.
His life should have been celebrated because he was pretty awesome. I'm not going to move. That's going to be the place, a special place for Rory and I.
Usually, when a grieving parent talks publicly about the loss of their child, they're rightfully showered with love and support. But that wasn't the case for Shelley, who instead became the target of a vicious online pile-on with thousands of unsubstantiated theories and horrendous accusations. Strangers questioned her demeanour.
She got her beloved peacocks, but not her disabled son?
She's crying with no tears. I hope this gets investigated.
They honed in on seeming inconsistencies in Shelley's recounting of the tragedy.
I've heard 3 different versions of the story. If this lady had the same story, I would believe her. But there's something scary about the fact the story keeps changing.
This story has developed each time she recounts it.
Every interview is a different story.
She'd told reporters she'd spoken to Rory as the fire approached.
Rory had locked the door. He wasn't coming out because he'd got swollen feet and he needed the bathroom.
So he said, Mum, you go, I'm staying.
I think he felt guilty that I did so much for him. He said, Mum, just leave me. You go sort yourself out. I'm good.
Thank you so much for your time. For joining.
This is what she told Weekend Sunrise about the morning Rory died.
I said, Rory, come to the main house, the cottage, and he'd locked the door. He said, no.
And this is what she told us.
So you bashed on the door?
I just told him I was going, yeah. I tried.
Did he respond at that point?
I couldn't hear it because you can't hear it. You couldn't hear anything as well because there was this roar. So I didn't hear him.
They pounced on apparent differences in her accounts of trying to save him.
I've got a broken arm. I couldn't lift him. I couldn't move him. All the powers off, so the electric gates were hugely heavy. I had to use all my might to get them lifted so I could get the car out.
Perhaps the muddled messaging was Shelley's reaction to trauma. But some of these armchair detectives became obsessed with Shelley's story, adamant there was more to it. I've just made contact with one who we're hoping to get on the phone. How many hours, Renee, do you think you've put into looking into this case?
I couldn't even tell you. It was probably most of last year. It was like an everyday thing. I have a son that I have to care for the rest of his life. He's autistic, and I couldn't imagine leaving him.
What was it about this story that sparked your interest?
Seeing her save the peacocks and watching the fire crawl up the mountains behind her home, and she's still not with her son.
The anonymous haters were easy to dismiss, but what came next was harder to ignore. Family members too began casting wild, baseless aspersions. Two of the most prominent critics of Shelley's online have been her sister and her stepdad, John. We tried to ask them what motivated them to publicly turn on their relative. We got closest with stepdad John. After a long time trying to get in contact, we're now messaging him back and forward. You can't just go online and say things and then not want to take our calls when we're making genuine inquiries. So we sent a producer to their UK homes.
I've just spoken to someone who does know Shelley's sister, and I've got contact details in the hope that she will get in touch. But he informed me that talking about her sister was a trigger, and so therefore he didn't think it would be likely that she would reach out.
I was shocked that they said that I was being accused of certain things, like murdering my baby. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Shelley, you were called a monster and a murderer.
At the first time it shocked me. Why would they say that when I've loved my baby all these years? But then I saw it at a different angle. That is so kind that they love my Rory. They didn't know that he decided to stay there because the fire department was there. They didn't know it was his choice at 32 and a half. He chose his... I gave him enough confidence and strength to make his own decisions. And I think it's beautiful they cared enough.
So sorry, you don't care what they say about you?
To be honest, I know who I am. Nobody wants to be said that they're monsters and mean. But for me, I know I'm a kind person. I'm not perfect.
So for people to accuse you of having done something to him?
Yeah, well, that was... They don't know us. Do you know what I mean?
To us, Shelley finally reveals the sad truths she says the internet haters don't understand.
Rory had bowel problems since he was born. He didn't want to go down the mountain and suddenly have an accident. And that was the thing. He didn't want to be in somebody else's car and have an accident.
in a life or death situation, would that be a factor?
Well, at that stage, we didn't think we were a life or death because we were next to the fire station. If we thought it was life or death, you would just stick a towel on the chair and everything. I understand what you're saying. But we didn't really feel that. I'm actually glad that you're doing and asking all these questions.
Up next,
I never imagined that it was that close.
as Sarah Greenhalgh reveals the truth about the fire station next door.
Nice to meet you, Sarah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And later, why Rory's home is under question.
Do you think they've made a mistake?
I do, definitely.
Look how beautiful you are. Hey, good boy.
The baby was born last year. So we're all 5 generations. I'm a grandma to peacocks and a mama to peacocks with my Rory. He bought me the first couple and they had their eggs, 5 eggs, and they were all born on July 29.
Everyone?
All 5 of their little eggs. And then that's Mikey crying. He's fluttering his feathers. Baby's 6 months old. Hello, baby. Bobbity bop bop. Are they making you a movie star?
Shelley Sykes' devotion to her peacocks was seized upon by internet trolls, who accused the Australian mum of caring more about the birds than her 32-year-old son Rory, who died in the Los Angeles fires. Today, we've come to visit.
Well, do you want to walk down? Do you want to walk down to the worst area first?
Yeah.
Shelley is showing us where her Malibu mansion used to be, explaining it was purchased with compensation money she received 22 years after a car accident, which she believes caused Rory's cerebral palsy.
So this is the sweeping drive, 22 feet wide and 20,000 square feet, and I cut every tile that I had to pull up of grass. I had the production suite here, and then upstairs, you know, the Shelley suite. The Shelley. If you think Kardashians have a big walk-in wardrobe, nothing like mine. So my mission here was to live a good life, invite the celebrities. We've got a happy pad down at the bottom so they could come with Ferraris and sports cars and McLarens and Lamborghinis, or they could come by helicopter.
Oh, a helipad.
We've got to call it a happy pad.
A happy pad. So who'd landed here?
I had quite a few people.
Anyone we'd know?
Oh, I've suddenly gone blank. I'll think of somebody in a minute.
Also fueling the critics' suspicion, the proximity of Shelley's property to the local fire station, Camp 8.
That's the fire station right there.
Yes, that's the fire station.
You can almost
touch it.
You can almost touch it.
I don't believe the firemen were at the station doing nothing.
The area is burning to the ground, but all the firefighters were just sitting around the fire station. This story is such BS.
Yeah, we should go there. We should go to the fire station and try and ask them.
It took 28 seconds to drive there from Shelley's. It's virtually next door.
Hello.
How are
Sarah
you?
Greenhalgh, nice to meet you.
Dan Koch. Nice to meet you, Sarah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for coming out to camp.
But what suspicious sleuths probably didn't realise is that Camp 8 is not a fully equipped fire station. It's a specialised fire prevention facility. That morning, it had plenty of manpower, but tragically no water to save Rory.
You're not the ones rolling out the hoses?
No, we don't operate any fire engines here. So, a normal fire station that we would operate would have a fire engine equipped with hose, water, and ladders. We have truck companies and paramedic squads. So that is a little different than what we would operate here.
In what they say was the name of justice, the cyber detectives delved deep into Shelley's past, questioning every aspect of her life.
Hi, welcome to Mount Malibu. Today is Global Happiness Day.
Like the happiness charity she founded with Rory.
Can one of you internet sleuths dig up information about his charity?
As far as I can tell, there is nothing. Happy Charity does not seem to exist on the internet beyond mentions of it.
Pointing out that Shelley still promotes the charity that's deregistered in Australia and most of the US for failing to file the required paperwork. As for Rory being a child star,
the 32-year-old former child actor,
32-year-old Australian Rory Sykes, he was a child actor.
He was on 2 episodes of a local community TV show. Shelley told us the media embellished that. Finally, there were accusations of deception, with the sleuths citing legal action taken against Shelley over what she claimed was a world-class TV studio.
So basically there was a dispute between a guy who Shelley had brought on board to manufacture new windows for her home. The agreement was that he wouldn't have to install them and there was no payment. Instead, he was going to get exposure from TV and advertising and publicity.
She sent me emails stating that Obama's wife, Michelle, and everybody else will be there, and she will videotape them next to the windows, and they will mention it and everything else.
Aaron Adderam is the founder of California Deluxe Windows.
She said that she's like Oprah Winfrey of Australia.
The windows were for her Malibu mansion. Shortly after moving in 2014, Shelley embarked on major renovations. As well as living there, she called the property her celebrity TV house.
Ta-da! I'm psyched, thank you, boys. This is super duper. And they'll never know till they see this show.
Yeah, watch the episode. She basically created this fake story, very fake story, that she's gonna have a TV shows and she will have this. She's like a very successful writer and everything else. She was describing that she got honorary degree. She was not really a doctor, it was all fake.
So when you entered into that contract with the window company and promised, they'd appear on the Ellen Show and Vogue Living, you had every intention of that happening?
Oh, yeah, I had it all planned. I even told them. I've got the emails.
It all ended up here in this Los Angeles courthouse. The man who owns the window company sued Shelley Sykes for breach of contract and fraud. During the case, the court found that Shelley was not credible in many respects of her testimony, and she was eventually ordered to pay more than $100,000.
Oh my gosh, that was a nightmare.
The judge said you weren't credible in many respects of your testimony.
Their people were trying to make out that I wasn't in TV, I wasn't, I'd lied about and that I was trying to get free windows from these people. And I couldn't believe it. I cried every day. I wasn't even allowed the cost of what it cost to repair the windows.
No, in fact, you were ordered to pay the money back to them for the windows.
They must have dropped that because they didn't tell me that they had another route. I said I wanted to do it again.
But just to be clear.
Yes.
You did lose that case.
I did lose the case. I didn't win any money at all.
It's unfortunately, I did not wish her harm, and I certainly did not want anything bad happen to her son. Right now, honestly, I'm not angry anymore. I was very frustrated, very hurt, very sad, and it took years for me to calm down.
Urgent order for people to get out.
Lawyer Roger Beale is representing Shelley Sykes in her fire lawsuit and says her past is irrelevant.
In the wildfire case, it's very dangerous to say, well, your house burned down, but I'm going to somehow come in a bellwether trial and I'm going to, start poking into your past and how much did you really love your son? You're not going to do that. It's not going to really get into, blasting the individual. I think that would be the stupidest thing I think a defense lawyer could do. I mean, people are fire victims. I mean, they do nothing. Nobody asks for it. They do nothing to cause this to happen. And it happens. It's tragic.
Shelley is one of more than 3,000 victims suing for their losses in the Palisades fire, one of the most destructive and deadly in LA's history, killing 12 people.
Los Angeles is one of the largest cities in the United States, one of the highest taxed areas in the country. You would expect we'd have the best of everything. We should set the standard for the rest of the U.S. But what we discovered after this fire was the government completely failed.
In their sights, the state of California and the city of Los Angeles, responsible for the power and water. This reservoir behind me has become a critical factor into figuring out why Rory died. It can hold more than 440 million litres of water, but when the fires hit that day, it was empty. It was closed for repairs.
Do I hate the water board? Do I hate the electricity board? No, it just is.
Do you hold those people responsible for your son's death?
There's no one person to blame.
Do you go through, Roger, and actually sort of assign a dollar value that you think is reasonable per victim?
We do. And we assess their particular loss, the family's loss, and then assign a value to it.
We've not had insurance since 2018. I mean...
Property or life
Property,
insurance.
life insurance, nothing.
It's extremely hard to put a value on Rory's life, Shelley, but what are you expecting out of that case if you win?
Nobody's mentioned money. All I did was sign the documents that they would represent the business, the house, and my Rory. I honestly have no idea. I hope it's as much as they can get because Rory's not a figure.
Given all that she's endured with Rory and the original cost of her home anyway, it would be in the millions.
Oh, yeah. I don't have to hesitate to say that. Easily in the millions.
Up next, why is Rory's home under question?
It was built to code. That should not have burned in 45 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, I'm upset, obviously, but I'm glad you're telling me.
We're investigating the death of disabled Australian man Rory Sykes. This is where he lived and died, a structure at the back of his mother's Malibu property.
His cottage was built to code. It took 4 years to get it passed. It was built to code. That should not have burned in 45 minutes.
The Santa Monica Mountains are a high-risk fire zone. So being built to code means meeting fireproofing requirements. A few weeks after arriving back in Australia, we received an email from one of those citizen detectives. It had a link to this.
The applicant requests a coastal development permit to construct a 240 square foot storage shed and paved walkway associated with an existing single-family residence. The storage shed has already been partially constructed without permits.
Here, at a 2018 planning hearing, Shelley Sykes is asking for permission to build a storage shed that she'd already illegally started constructing.
The sheds, I was in the wrong with my shed number 3 because I couldn't fit my garden furniture in the first 2 sheds. It was too big and the rats were eating all my outside furniture.
This is that shed.
Instead of having that problem of having rats getting in through the sheds and eating all the stuff, we put a concrete base. I'm an author, a 5 times award-winning author. Can you believe it, on happiness? I think my neighbours need a little bit of happiness. I just want to put on record that I have not lied at any time under oath.
I told you.
I'll do everything
I told you.
The officer said
that I would have you come down for a clarification. I'm disappointed.
Oh, I thought that's what you... I thought
No,
you were talking
that's
about
not
the
a
shed.
clarification on the testimony.
Okay.
I said nothing on the testimony. If you had a question, that's not a question.
Oh,
So
I see. So
we're finished, Ms. Sykes. We're finished for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's where it ended. According to the LA County Planning Division, no building permits were issued for this storage structure. No applications were ever received for a habitable accessory structure, adding it was not reviewed for compliance with the building code or fire code standards, including life safety and structural integrity standards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But Shelley is adamant Rory's cottage was legal and built to code.
It wasn't a legal shed. It was permitted. It's an ADU. No, that is totally wrong. So whoever's told you that is not the planning department, because it
is the planning department, Shelley.
Then that's not true.
Do you think they've made a mistake?
I do, definitely. I did put it down as the pool house with shower and toilet and everything, and you don't put a shower and a toilet in a storage shed. So I'm glad you're telling me this, because when I go to court anyway for my Rory, I need to know this, because I didn't even know that this was an issue, right? And I understand you're investigative journalist, and I am so grateful that you're telling me this now. I mean, I'm upset, obviously, but I'm glad you're telling me, because I've got time to go and do something about it and find out what's going on. I'll ask for a representative to speak with you, and I'll also send you the documents I get a copy of.
That would be great. That would be great.
The permit status of the structure that Rory was killed in has no causal connection to the defendant's liability for the fire. I mean, the fire consumes both permitted and unpermitted structures. It doesn't discriminate.
Alex Robertson is part of Shelley's legal team.
Probably half the homes in Malibu have unpermitted outbuildings and structures. It's a very common phenomenon.
We're still waiting for Shelley and her team to provide the permit paperwork.
Up next, the future for Shelley Sykes.
Do you spend a lot of time out here reflecting with this?
Every night.
And what the Los Angeles Police Department says about Rory's death.
Can you tell me just a little bit about the monument you've got?
So
Just explain it.
Nobody can put me down. I have had more disasters. I'm the biggest failure I've gone through divorces. I've had near-death experiences. I've been in car accidents and had a baby with special needs. And I'm like a phoenix rising. And this is my Rory. He would never want me to quit.
Today, Shelley Sykes and her peacocks still live without power and water in a demountable home on the property where Rory died. His ashes are under this statue.
And do you spend a lot of time out here reflecting with this?
Every night. Oh, the birds are running across the street. They're chasing each other.
12,000 kilometres from Australia, mementos of better times are everywhere.
Absolutely. I get the Australian flags, and I get the sunset, and I get the trees. I got some boomerangs. Look at that Australia, good eye. Boomerang of happiness.
Shelley Sykes is a curious character. She can be warm, funny, and certainly very eccentric. More than a year after Rory's death, as Shelley grapples with her grief, there are serious questions for the state and the city to answer.
We hope to get some justice for Shelley and the other victims that we represent, to get some sense of closure. But the reality is that her life has been changed forever, and nothing's going to change that.
Justice may also come from the LA Sheriff's Department, which is investigating Rory's death alongside the others who died in the Palisades fire.
I'm not going to blame myself, because I know I was a good mama. I did not know that we were going to lose him. I didn't know we were going to lose Yeah, no, I'm not going to blame myself, and I tried my best. That's all I can say.